growing up in that element, how did it, did you always have that, I guess, popularity vibe about you?
LaDarrius is the businessman. LaDarrius is the person where when it's time to negotiate a contract, LaDarrius is there. Mm-hmm. L Hood is the personality.
Think about your life. What do you think is the most defining moment that prepared you to be in this space of impactful influence?
When I was growing up, I always made really, really good grades. Mm-hmm. And so my family was so proud of me in that sense. My dad, he would tell it to anybody who would listen, how proud of me he was or whatever. So I think for me, it's just, I'm so used to being known for something. I'm so used to being known for specializing in something.
Hey, thank God for another day. Hey, I know we could be another way. Hey, pray, thank God for another day. Hey, I know we could be another way.
Yo, it's your girl, Jessica S. Smith, and you have entered the safe space where we decompress, have fun, and guess what?
Just ask.
Hey, just ask. Yo,
Oh,
girl, let me tell you something. I'm cute today.
Yeah.
I don't know if you told your mom and them that, but she looks good today. But I look better when I'm with my Desiree.
Hey.
Desiree.
Hey.
Desiree. Hey.
What's up, Jessica?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Girl, I just love you.
Jess, you do look good today, by the way.
Thank you. I'm trying to, the Lord had told me that he's building the wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be present. Okay. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see.
I love that for you because you actually said it because, I be getting on your throat about
that's just because you got a man now.
No, even before then, I understand that you are the thing before the thing, right? So he said, he who finds a wife, that means you are already in the essence and the being of that thing. And so I'm just excited to see you actually embrace this season of becoming and being because it's cool.
Man, becoming and being is such a strong statement, especially with the guest that we have today, Desiree, because the definition of becoming, being, execution, just embodying being that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Being that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about to be a good one.
Being that guy.
Yeah.
It's the responsibility of it, the mantle, the weightiness. It's just admirable when you can be around people they just get what it means to be kingdom driven, to be kingdom focused, but not in the church walls. I just really admire people that got the oil and know how to use the oil in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
This guy here, Desiree, I'm really excited about. Y'all, I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised because y'all, it's just little me. It's just little me, and he big, he major. He is out here doing some amazing things. We are known as his cousins. He makes us feel like family. Yeah. He makes sure that we know about the good food. He's out here speaking on these TED Talks. I mean, I'm just trying to catch up, all right? But I'm glad that we were able to catch up long enough to have him on the platform. So I introduce and present our new friend, aka our big cousin, LaDarrius Hutcherson.
What's up, cousin?
Hey, cousin. Oh, he told me directly. I want y'all to catch that. He told me directly, "Hey, cousin."
I did.
Okay.
I did.
How you doing, love? I'm so excited for you to be here.
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes,
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, I'm super excited. And I was nervous. I'm gonna tell you that. I was nervous because you know how some people, I think there's a persona, right?
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain space,
Yeah.
you don't know how people that are in these higher spaces like you that we perceive will receive you, right? And so I'm super excited that I've had 2 encounters with you, and they were beautiful.
3.
I have to, well, three. What's the third?
Oh, you right too.
Well, technically, I know I seen you we saw each other at the Brandy Monica concert, so that is technically right. That is 3, and you were just you were open, you were nice. Not to say I thought you were mean, but you just never know how people will receive you or come up to you. And so I'm just so grateful that you gave JessAsk a yes. So thank you. Thank you, cousin. Thank you, cousin.
You're welcome.
You are a busy man.
Yeah, I am. But first of all, before we get into that, I just want to say that it's your spirit for me. It's gonna always be the spirit for me. It's always going to be what I feel from people when I meet them, and I get such a comfortable feeling from you, because I don't know. I think people think just as much as people progress and they get to these levels or whatever, you still are always guessing or wondering how people perceive you as well. You know, so just as much as you felt that way about me, I felt the same.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Oh my! Well, I'm glad that hump is over with, because we locked in. Ain't no switching up.
For sure.
So, how do you think people perceive you?
I think that people perceive me. I think it's like I feel like it's like two different worlds. I feel like there's some people who do perceive me as that family person, you know, like part of that family or whatever. And then I think there's some people who truly feel like I'm a monster. Like I'm just unapproachable, hard to reach, hard to, you know, but none of those things, you know.
What do you think that comes from, though? Like that part that people think?
Well, you know, I could be a little mouthy, you know. I could clap back a little bit,
just a little
you
bit,
know, and people know that I'm not gonna just lay down. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say how I feel, and so, you know, sometimes people are probably like, well, do I say something to them, or is it okay to say? I'm not like a firecracker. I'm not just gonna go left on you for no reason. I gotta have good reason for that, but. And also too, I think it's just like you said, the persona of an influencer and someone who you see doing all these things or whatever. But I don't feel that way though. You know, I don't feel it the way people see it. You see what I'm saying? I still feel the same way that I've always felt. But I know that the world looks at people when they get to a certain status differently or whatever.
Yeah,
so
I can feel you on that, because I've been told, and I'm like, me out of all people, Desiree, I've been told that like, they don't know if they can approach me or if I'm weirded out. I actually like when people approach me, because that means that, like, especially being a podcast, I don't know who's seeing my podcast.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't even like, comment, or subscribe. It's y'all be watching. So it's like, it helps me stay motivated to continue to do. And I just love to love on people. Absolutely. So I wonder, like, have you ever been approached like sideways to where it made you feel uncomfortable, or like, do you normally just have good interactions when people approach you?
So I think
that laugh.
Honestly, I feel like people are so taken back when they approach me in like a negative way, because they like, I don't know, they assume people that again are of a certain status are supposed to react a certain way, but I'm just gonna always make you feel like you just incompetent in a sense, because like I've had people come up to me like, man, you know, you ain't really like that or whatever. I said, well, is it your taste buds or is it mine?
Ooh.
Or, man, you be eating all that food. I said, you don't eat every day? So things like that. And so people just don't know what to say to me after. They're like, oh, well, okay, I guess you got a point.
And so I'm assuming that clap that come from the north.
Absolutely comes from the north side. It comes from the north side. And it's so quick. And sometimes I'm like, oh, God, why did I say that? Yeah. So sometimes it come out of my mouth faster than my brain can process it.
Yeah. So one of the things I love about you is that you rep Birmingham.
For sure.
Like the sides, I love you, but West Side is the best side. And I know I'm gonna have some of your folks agree with me on that, but I love the people from the North. My best friend from North. Y'all cool. Cool. Her name is Stacey Dow. She's a little bit older. Okay. Yeah. So, but y'all love, what is it? Carver. Some people say it like Carver. They say it hard, but Carver. He says Carver. Don't say that about my school. So growing up in that element, how did it, did you always have that, I guess, popularity vibe about you, like just growing up in that area, like, oh, I'm well known? Or was this content creation something introducing you into quote unquote popularity or being well known?
Well, I'm happy you asked this question. That's so crazy. I literally was just talking to somebody before I got here about that same question. Because I did something else before I got here, and they were saying, oh my God, I did some research on you. I saw you was Mr. Senior in your high school. You was SGA, you was doing all these things or whatever. And so she said, so you're no stranger to like, being well received or whatever. And I was like, you know what, I never thought about that, but actually, no, I'm not. You know, before I became an influencer, I was always kind of influential in a sense. Not to this magnitude, but I feel like I had different eras of my life. So there was a time where I had a graphic design business or whatever, and people knew me for that at one point, but then people also knew me for dressing, and people like, style and things like that. And but no, I'm no stranger to people receiving me well. Again, I can't say that I'm not, because this type of popularity is way different from like a high school. I can't even really compare the two. It's like comparing apples and oranges, but I feel like those moments prepared me for now more than anything, because people always kind of took a liking to me or whatever. And my uncle told me very young, like, you're a people magnet. People cling to you. I have an older sister who's kind of similar. Like, we just thrive off of, or people thrive off of us. We bring the energy to the room type of thing. And so, no, it's no stranger. I'm not like some of the influencers who got popularity and they don't really
know how to come from. But I think that's interesting too, because just being 100, like, you could have been president, SGA, and also, and still a lame.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? But that might not have been your story.
No.
Like, but like what you're saying, like, people gravitating to you, that's a gift, that's anointing. And one of the things, you said this and I'll never forget it shook my shundo so good. So one of the places I first met you was at my dog, shout out to Levi, Joseph Levins. He has a podcast, It's the Way We Live. And you said something that was so profound. You said, my life has prepared me for this.
Yes.
Can we talk about that? Because I think some people think it's just like overnight or done quickly, or there's no preparation for something like this. But what do you mean when you say my life prepared me for this, what I'm doing now?
I think, for me, I have had a lot of obstacles throughout my life. And a lot of those obstacles were things that really had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with like the environment and the circumstances that I was facing at that particular time in my life. But dealing with those issues taught me resilience. It taught me a level of understanding in a way that I don't know if I had gone through that I would understand like what all of this is about. Because for a long time I used to think about, what is my purpose in life? Like, what am I here to do? And, when you're going through those things and your circumstances, when it's unfortunate for you, you don't understand it in that moment. But when I answered that question and I said that, it was me reflecting on my life and understanding that everything that I had gone through up until this point literally prepared me for now, whether or not I knew it or not at that time, because I didn't know, you know. And then, recently I was able to just put so much of all of that into perspective and just really say, you know what, I needed to go through this. I needed to have this happen to me. I needed to be able to endure this, because if I did not, when things come up, even in the influencer world, I'm able to like handle it like a champ, because been there, done that. This is not new to me. And so I think adversity, when you're going through it, growing up, it seems like your world is just shattering. Like, it's like everything is just going wrong. But it's beautiful because it makes for a shield that life otherwise probably wouldn't have gave me. You know, if I had a silver spoon in my mouth, I probably wouldn't be able to be okay with no's and L's and what some people would perceive as failure, but I don't see it as failure. I see it as either a missed opportunity, but a lesson at the same time, you know? So it just made me so much more resilient. When you think about your life, what do you think is the most defining moment that prepared you to be in this space of impactful influence? I think the thing for me probably was just, I think when I was growing up, I always made really, really good grades. And so my family was so proud of me in that sense. You know, my dad, he would tell it to anybody who would listen, you know, how proud of me he was or whatever. So I think for me, it's just, I'm so used to being known for something. I'm so used to being known for specializing in something.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I had a graphic design business. Elle had designs for like 2-3 years, and I was getting into like fashion or whatever. So for me, it's just like I've had so many different eras.
Yeah.
That's trained me in a sense for like right now.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I'm also curious as when you say that you're multifaceted, because this is something Desiree and I always talk about. Being multifaceted can be frustrating.
Yeah.
Because like you said, what is my purpose? What is
Yeah.
my one thing? What is my design? And it's like, how were you able to push past that frustration and actually find it? Like what kicked in for you to be able to say, oh, this is me, but this also can be me. And
Yeah.
I can also, like, how did you learn how to embrace that?
Oh, that's a great question. Along this journey of me of self-discovery, I realized that I am here for people. Like everything that I have done up into throughout my life, it's always been the result of it has always been to like help
Yeah.
people and be a servant in a sense, And so I think those things just really, prepared me for this. But like you said, being multifaceted can be frustrating because especially when you are in that world of trying to figure out what's your purpose, you're like, okay, well, you want to 10 different directions or whatever.
Yeah.
But what happened was I really honestly let God lead and just did what was natural for me and authentic. And that was picking up my camera and recording and showing my true personality or whatever, like I did in every other aspect, even when I was doing graphic design, when I was working with my clients, and I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. You need to do it. You need to just being authentically LaDarrius.
Yeah.
I think that's what really helped me kind of just get to this point now because it all kind of just went exactly the way it was supposed to.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because you said you're being authentically LaDarrius. Some of us don't maybe know what they mean because now you have social media. There are social media personas. There are things like that. So my curiosity for you is what's the difference between LaDarrius and Elle Hut? Like, because we know Elle Hut, we Elle Hut cousin, but what about LaDarrius? Like, what is the difference? Like, what are some of the fears that we don't get to see that LaDarrius might experience that he has to push through to present Elle Hut?
Okay. That's a good one. Oh, I love that. So LaDarrius is the businessman. LaDarrius is the person where when it's time to negotiate a contract, LaDarrius is there. Elle Hut is the personality. LaDarrius is, I graduated from Jacksonville State University in 2014 with a business degree. I went back and got my master's in 2017, graduated in 2019 with my master's. Started working on my doctorate in business in 2021. Influencer came along, so it kind of went away. But I'm very proficient in marketing, business, every aspect of business. I'm very proficient in because I have the degrees to say so. And I really love all things business, marketing, and all those things. And for a long time, I was like, well, if I can market other people's companies, I can market myself, And so when it comes to LaDarrius, he's the one that's the brains. I mean, and granted, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's crazy. These are the same people.
These same people.
But Elle Hut is almost like not a caricature, but it's like a different version of me. It's the personality.
Yeah.
Elle Hut is gonna be relaxed, laid back, chilling. Elle Hut got to be up and prepared to be that personality or whatever. So the biggest difference is just that. Like Elle Hut is the talent. I'm showing up and I'm getting the work done. I don't care what I got going on outside of whatever it is that I need to do. That's LaDarrius.
Yeah.
For him to handle.
Yeah.
When I come into a building or whatever I got to do, that's Elle Hut showing up.
Yeah.
Because that's the brand that I built. But I love the uniqueness of it because I'm able to like run this thing, and handle the business the way I need to handle it, but still show up as myself, as Elle Hut. But they both, they
pretty much have the same.
twins.
Yeah. Twin have a big, okay. No, but I think this is the same person. But I also know because I got Jessica S. Smith and JessAsk.
Uh-huh.
And I know for me, I need, it's certain things that I need from Jessica to show up as JessAsk. I wonder, what does LaDarrius need
Okay.
to be able to show up as L. Hut?
I think LaDarrius brings that north side with him. Because I was LaDarrius before L. Hut was even thought about.
Period.
So that's what that's what I always try to tell people. LaDarrius is right here. Like he's this close. He's not too far away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
So when I need that confidence, that boost, remembering, where I come from, and just really, because I come from a rough environment, but it was so natural for me. So I'm like, I can handle any scenario or any situation. So sometimes when L. Hut is thinking, why am I here, or not feeling confident, I'm like,
L. Hut experienced stuff like that, like not feeling confident and not, because I need people to understand it, because it's an assumption, like you can always turn it on and always do and not never experience any doubt about yourself.
No, let me tell you. So I would consider myself to be a very comfortable person within myself, but I have things that or environments that I have to be put in that can kind of make me feel a little bit uneasy, not in necessarily a negative way, but it may be a new environment. For instance, this past year, in 2025 in October was Classic or whatever, and so this particular Classic week was super different for me because I got invited to so many of these amazing events for the first time. Through these amazing companies, Alabama Power, Spire, South Trust Bank, like all these different notable places around the city that were having these very elite events with some of the most influential people in the city. And so for me, that was a little intimidating because I had never been in that space of that capacity. And in most cases, those events that I went to, they didn't have a +1. So it was all about me walking into those rooms by myself. And I don't have a problem with going into any room, but that was a different type of room for me because these are the movers and shakers, the people that watch me and see what I'm doing, but they're in these positions of power and things like that or whatever. So I definitely belonged because they invited me to come. Right. So I was supposed to be there, but I was just really, I was a little kind of like nervous about the situation or whatever. So I get those moments or whatever, but I handled it like a champ, walked in like I belonged there. They didn't know by the time I got there, but that's LaDarrius pushing L. Hut into that room. Yeah. And like, do you know where you come from? Yeah. You're supposed to be here. You don't hold your head down. You walk in, you hold your head high, you get in there, get it done. Work the room, do what you got to do, shake hands, and that's what we're going to do, and we did it.
Man, that's so powerful, and I think people need to hear that and notice that, because as you elevate, there's still more room for elevation.
Absolutely.
Like, people see, you got people that's looking behind you, it's like, oh my gosh, you're doing this, but then you looking ahead of you, and you're like, oh, but I'm not there yet. Right. I'm not there yet. And so you're basically saying, I manage it by using the confidence and the roughness of LaDarrius, like, hey, wake up, boy. Like you gotta L. Hut need to show up. That's who they want. So get it together. I'm pushing you. I love that so much. I'm also curious because I know people are watching outside of Birmingham. We have some beautiful people watching from Dallas that's consistent, Georgia, Tennessee. Like, we just have a lot of people, and some people just don't understand Birmingham. Okay. So when you say where I come from, that it was a unique experience, could you give us a picture of what your experience like growing up in the north side of Birmingham? What does that look like?
Okay, so north side of Birmingham, I grew up in North Birmingham. That's why I spent the largest chunk of my 34 years at. So that's why I consider that, because when I was born, I technically didn't live in North Birmingham. I moved there when I was like 4. But memory-wise, and the most memories is what I got from the Birmingham. I mean, I went to school, elementary, middle, high school there. So that's where I'm from. And so, of course, I'm from Birmingham, but grew up there. And so North Birmingham, it was a very like middle, I guess lower middle class neighborhood. It wasn't the worst, but it was just a lot of inconsistencies in the living environment. Parents just was trying to make ends meet. Sometimes the ends didn't quite meet, and so that means we moved a lot. Like we stayed in the same community in North Birmingham, but it would be different streets that we live on or whatever. And as a child, I didn't quite understand that, but they always managed to make a way. But North Birmingham was, like I said, that wasn't the worst community within the north side. But I went to these schools, like I had an amazing elementary school experience, but then I went to Hudson Middle School, which was in Collegeville, like in the center of Collegeville. And if anybody's familiar with Collegeville, if you're not, they have like the projects there, and it's crimes and different things that's going on there or whatever. So I was in middle school right in the heart of that.
Yeah.
And then, going to high school, you're in high school with people from Vice Hill and Norwood and all these just different communities that are kind of rough, and people tend to express their emotions through fighting or through whatever the case may be. And so you have to adapt to that. Yeah. So that's what kind of gave me that little grit. Because it's like fight or flight, and I wouldn't flight, because I wasn't gonna be able to go home and tell my dad that I didn't defend myself. Yeah, they weren't hearing that.
They weren't playing them.
Absolutely not. So I was always on the defense or whatever. Yeah. So rough neighborhood, but I got so much pride. I got so much pride for it though. Like I just still love it so much. It's like I endured it and I got through it. Is
that what motivated you? Like being from there motivated you to come back? Because I heard you say you went to JSU, which is in Jacksonville, Alabama, and I know people around the time, because we about the same age. So around the time we were growing up, I remember Birmingham still having a lot of room to grow. Yeah. And there's a drastic difference. I would say there's a great healthy difference now in the way we're moving. And it's a lot more people staying versus leaving. What was your decision to like stay and just like really work and grow where you were from instead of moving on and trying to be bigger and better somewhere else?
Yeah. I think that it's the love and admiration that I have for my family. My family is very tight. And when I say family, I'm specifically talking about my mom's side, because that's the family that I'm the closest to. And so we're very tight and close or whatever. So I couldn't quite fathom leaving them. So that was one thing that kind of kept me anchored. And then at the time, when I graduated college, my grandma was still living. And so I just love my family. I love being around my family, and I didn't really have a desire. You know how sometimes people have a desire to leave? That just was never in my heart. It really wasn't. And once I started really, again, trying to discover my purpose, it just kept leading me here. It kept being here to some capacity, because even before I was an influencer, I was doing the toy drive. I was doing all these things within the community, very low level, not on the level that it is now, but all the things that I do now, as far as like, especially in the community, I was doing it, but on a very like lower level. But yeah.
No, I'm glad you even brought that last part up, because it goes back to what you said, like everything that you've done has prepared you for this moment. Even thinking about, because you recently just did the toy drive for, who did you partner with that? YMCA. To say like, oh, I was doing the toy drive, so I'm familiar with it, so the Lord didn't allow you to be ignorant to it, so you was able to have the language, you kind of had an understanding, but it was scalable. Like what you were doing already, it just went to another scale. And I think that some people just think there's like, oh, I just came out the woodwork. No, baby, I got receipts.
Absolutely. Like, all of them.
I got receipts. No, I'm really enjoying this conversation. One of the things I am curious about, you posted something not too long ago. I think it was around your birthday.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my Lord.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay, what'd I say?
Bad. I think it was good. And I'm curious to hear like you elaborate on this, because you mentioned that, you were saying your thank yous about, turning 34. And you led with, okay, I want to be more transparent. I want to be, I want to show y'all more of my journey. So my content might look a little different.
Yeah.
What have we been missing that you haven't been sharing? And what does transparency look like for you in this season?
I think for me, I think just being a little bit more vulnerable. I am a very controlled person in a sense. And so just when I say transparent, I think they've watched enough interviews about me. I've told my life story pretty much, not to its full extent, but I've told snippets about my life or whatever. But I'm talking about more so on my terms. I'm going to give y'all transparency the way I want to give you the transparency, not necessarily in an interview. Maybe through my content, doing more like day in the life type videos, and just maybe talking to the camera more and doing like Q&A style videos and stuff like that. Just giving them a little bit of another layer into my life.
What is that layer though? Like, what does that layer look like? I know you said, he ain't saying this in the interviews, the transparency, but like, what does that layer look like? Because I know there's levels to transparency and levels.
It may be something about like how I feel about just my life right now, just what's going on in my life, what the things that I'm working on. I'm just such a person that I work on something and I pop out with it or whatever. But even just showing them the process of working through that. Just sometimes me waking up in the morning like, I'm over this, like about my mental or about therapy. It's just so many things that I don't necessarily share in full detail, you know. And it's not because I don't want to share it. It's just because that wasn't where me and my audience was. But after turning 34 and just sitting back and reflect, I'm like, wow, these are like my people. You know, they really root for me and advocate for me or whatever. Yeah. So I can give them a little bit more.
No, that's so good. And I've seen you several times on your own platform talk about, I think you phrase it like sitting on the lady couch. Absolutely. We are we love therapy. I love shout out to my therapist.
Shout out to mine.
Because some folks would be just in some trouble.
I know they like to be so drained when I leave.
Bruh.
She's like, this man is insane.
Bruh, how long have you been going to therapy?
Over about almost 2 years.
What's the biggest difference that you see in yourself from not going to therapy to being someone that's actively going to therapy?
I'm way more patient. I'm way more, and I'm also way more gracious. I show myself more grace. And I'm more understanding of my upbringing, and the things that happened in my upbringing. It helped me to compartmentalize things in a sense, because I was grouping everything together. But I had to, the thing I love about therapy is that we were able to kind of like tackle one thing at a time. And it helped me really kind of see through all these different things that I had in my mind that I perceived it to be. But she really kind of helped me just talk through it and just get a better understanding, like piece by piece of my life, as opposed to just grouping it all together like, oh my God, my life was so da-da-da-da. It's like, no, it was this thing happened to you, but look at what it did here, and then look at this, that happened, that worked out for over here, so I was able to really just start putting everything together and making it make sense.
I think that is I can agree with that, like just being able to compartmentalize things instead of just grouping everything together. So I've been going to my therapist now. It's going on 2 years. And I always find myself going to therapy about a man. Oh God, it's always introduced with a man. But then now I think this time is different because now I am over the whole situation with the man, and now I'm dealing with me.
That's great.
I'm dealing with me. That's and good. dealing with yourself.
Hit different.
Ooh.
Hit different. And that's what I tell people. One thing about a therapist is the things that you think about at night when you're at home by yourself, you have to face those.
I just got chills. facing you, what has been the most surprising thing that you've been able to unveil?
I thought, you know what? I used to literally tell myself in my mind that I'm a great person. And I am. But I didn't realize that I was flawed in certain areas, you know, because I didn't know that I was so cold sometimes, you know. And I shut down. Well, I used to shut down. And I remember specifically like an instance in like 2021, I had a issue with some friends or whatever. And to be honest with you, yes, the issue was not my fault, but I think that had I said something and communicated, we could have resolved it a lot quicker. I let it go on for like months because I'm stubborn. I was stubborn in that way, to where all I had to do was say something or whatever. So I verbalized myself. I talked through things with people that I love and care about, because that's what it means that much to me now. And yeah, so I was very kind of like, okay, whatever. Like in an instant, quick. I'm like, okay, I'm done. But now when it's worth it and I care about it enough, I want to work it out and I want to talk through it, you know. But beforehand, I was just like, whatever.
Where do you think that came from?
Definitely my upbringing, for sure. I used to, like when me and my dad used to have issues or whatever, we wouldn't talk for days in the house, you know. And so that became a way for me to like, that's how that's how I'm supposed to communicate, you know. We have a disagreement, we just go about our ways and we don't talk for a minute, but that's not effective.
Yeah.
And it creates so much unnecessary like tension, and it leaves so much room for interpretation, because you don't know what I'm feeling, I don't know what you feeling, and all along we probably both feeling the same way. We don't even want to be in this space for real. We really want to talk it through and talk it out, but instead of being like putting my pride to the side and just saying, okay, you know what, I didn't like when you did that, to be honest with you. I don't like the way you said, I don't like da-da-da-da. I could have, honestly, a lot of situations in my life I probably could have had resolved a long time ago if I had been in therapy. But now that I am in there, I understand that that was an issue of mine. That probably was the biggest thing for me. Outside of just trying to unpack my upbringing in my life and things like that. But outside of that, that was one thing for me that I feel like was, if I had to continue on, it would have be a detriment to me as I'm, you know, but getting more successful or whatever. I can't conduct myself like that or even have that mindset to think, because what I do is relationship based a lot. And so I have to be able to develop relationships. And somebody asked me the other day, why are you still in therapy? I will continue to be in therapy as long as I'm in this, because I continue to build new relationships. So there's new characters in the story all the time. You know?
Yeah, that's so good. And I think that you witnessing that and knowing that that's wisdom, because knowing that you're in a business of relationship, building a relationship, networking, being influential, it's important for one that you're sane, but two, knowing that you're not repeating cycles and punishing new people for something that that they don't even know about.
Have no clue.
They have no clue. Have you ever found yourself punishing a new person for something they didn't even know about?
Probably so. Especially after dealing with certain, especially more so within like friendships, I would say, than anything. Because again, as much as people gravitate to me as far as like following me on social media, I've always been able to maintain and build friendships over my life. I've never had a problem with a friend. That's why I tell people all the time, I've never been, you are what on Toy Story, you got a friend in me? That's
I'm screaming.
That's always been me. So, but as I got older and I dealt with so much like what I see as like disloyalty, was disloyal to me. I used to kind of shut myself off a tad bit to people, because I felt like everybody shouldn't have access to me.
Listen, I learned that the hard way. Like, you're talking so good right now, because your energy is so important. Like, you have to really protect it and be around people that are willing to protect your energy. Desiree, what's that thing that Coach JD was talking about?
Something, it's a circle, something, right?
It's not Darwin. It started with a D. But basically the whole concept is we're able to know about 150 people, but five are only needed for us to feel like relevance and make us feel like whole and all that stuff like that. And I was the person that was like, oh my gosh, I want the 150 people to, like me, but then not understanding that it was different personalities and dealing with that, but then also bringing something different out of myself. And now I'm drained. Yeah. Now I'm not being mindful and managing my space and the circumference well enough to be able to do this. And I think that's why you're so successful at what you do, because what I hear is that you're able to be friendly. You're able to be a friend, but say, hey, this is the capacity I have. That's all I got.
I ain't got no more.
So, but one of the things I love, and I see it on social media, like it seems like you're very supportive of your friends. Yeah. Your friends are very supportive of you. How do you keep that balance of saying, hey, I can do this, but this week I need it for me? Because you're always, like you said, I had something before this, I got something after this. Like, how do you maintain all of this, like your schedule now being in such high demand?
Well, one thing that I am learning to do is I'm learning to show up for those who show up for me. So I think now that I am more busy, if I know that you show up for me all the time and I know you just be there for me, I don't care what you got going on, I'm gonna do the same for you. Mm-hmm. It's becoming more and more of a thing for me to decline and not go and not be a part of things, because when it's not being reciprocal, we're just, I'm not gonna dream. Not once upon a time before I was L Hood, who I am today. Yeah. I can go to I would try to make it to 5 events a day. Yeah. But that was before my schedule was the way it is now. But now if you are not showing up for me in that way, I'm not gonna be able to either, because I feel like I'm already busy. I already got a lot of things going on. Yeah. So I'm really just putting my energy where it's being received and reciprocated or whatever. But if you show up for me, I'm gonna show up for you. I don't care what I got going on. Yeah. I'm gonna schedule it in there. It's gonna be, it's gonna be scheduled in there. Yeah. I'm gonna make it.
And I think that's fair though. Yeah. Because it's like you having to reevaluate those relationships and learn. And it's not even a tit for tat thing. I think some people might think it's like a tit for tat thing. It's like,
it ain't tit for tat for me. It's out of sight, out of mind for me. Ooh. Yeah.
Not out of. Desiree, you over there agreeing?
I mean, it's like if I have not talked to you, you have not come to anything I've invited you to, you have not supported me in months and months and months and months. Why am I breaking my neck to come when you decide that you want to do something? No. And I think people hold me to such a different standard within friendships already. Not because I am who I am, and I'm feeling that and learning that even more. The rules that people have set in place for me are not the same for their other friends. People want me to, if I don't show up, if I'm not a part of something, it's just like magnified times 10, or it's just like it's so noticeable because I'm who I am. Yeah, and it's like, well, I showed up to everything else. If everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, is this a special guest appearance? Confused.
Are you paying?
The show is still going to go on without me. I don't understand.
Have you seen yourself getting frustrated in that area to where the expectations are not the same?
I do. I think that I don't understand. And the thing about it is, for me, I love my friends that are understanding of what I have going on. I literally have so many friends that are so gracious, and they're like, I know you got a lot going on. We gonna talk when we talk. With you on your hustle, you on your grind right now. You are working towards something. And they don't give me any flack about it at all. But then there's some people like, I ain't talked to you, and I'm like, do you know how many things I be having to get done in one day? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And how drained sometimes I could be. If I go to an event, if I'm going to an event, it's probably gonna take me like 3 or 4 days to recover from it, because I'm speaking to people, I'm hugging people, I am being drained. And I'm like, y'all don't understand, how this is. Yeah, it's really like taxing, and so I have to go to events. I have to do these things, which I love to do.
Yeah.
But I also have to replenish myself.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I don't have time to talk on the phone. I don't have time to maybe come to an event. I don't have time to text, or I don't have time to do that all day. You know, when we get together, we are grown adults.
Yeah.
It's not kindergarten. It's not playtime.
There's no side. There's no side came out.
Okay.
We're grown adults. So it's not kindergarten. Okay. No, but that's so understandable, and I think that I can relate to that as well. You need people, friends that honor what's on your life.
Yeah.
You need friends that's praying for you and not praying on you.
Yeah.
And even right now, and I try my best, but I am who I am. Even right now, I pray like just the supernatural covering over you, because people, like, the enemy be out to like try to play you amongst your circle.
Yeah.
Like to really even use people that you would have never thought. And not saying that this happened, but I've seen it happen with others, to where it's like, but hold up, why are you switching up now? Like I'm still saying, I'm just elevating in this space. And so my prayer for you is that like your covering is still intact, and then they grow and they're able to grow and elevate with you. And those that aren't will dismiss themselves. You don't even have to go north side of Birmingham, because that take a lot of energy too, to just even go there. And so my curiosity is, you talk about your success, and we talked about, you know, and not in because people can go on your page and see, you know, you doing collabs with Ford. Like, come on, dude. Like, that to me, that's like, dog, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get some sponsorships. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing a doggone thing. And so my curiosity is like, when does LaDarrius or L Hut deem himself accomplished? What does an accomplished LaDarrius look like?
I don't know, because it's hard for me to answer that question, because the thing about me is that I'm just so forward thinking. I could be in the middle of one project and I'm thinking about the next one and the one after that. I'm just so forward thinking. And I also try to do my best at being innovative. And coming up with new concepts and new ideas and things that I have never even heard of before. I'm not saying I'm the first person to do it, but I try to like think about things that will shift the culture and move things forward or whatever. So success to me is just, I guess, being able to continue to just do that. You know, being able to be in a space where I'm able to have people that believe in me enough to allow me the space to do that. Like, even a dream, this, like 2025 was like a dream come true year for me, because I got to work with like McDonald's, and not just work with them, but they allowed me the creative freedom to do what's authentic to me, you know. And so as long as I'm able to continue to be in those type of spaces, I think that's success for me, always. And it's just a constant reminder that you can have these opportunities. You can work with these large companies or whatever, but I don't have to jeopardize my integrity, because that's what I always lead with. I'm like, I don't want to do if I'm gonna do a commercial, y'all gotta pay y'all millions of dollars to bring y'all camera crew and put it on TV. But as far as my audience is concerned, I'm gonna give them what they love from me. And so if we can't meet in the middle, then it's not gonna work for me. But you're not gonna have me on here like I'm selling something or whatever. I like it to feel genuine and authentic to what people love from me. And so I've been blessed enough to be able to work with companies who understand that and who love what I do for the local community. And they see me in a way that we feel like you fit our brand enough for you to insert your brand in our.
And I love that, because I think there's a fear that people will lose out if they don't bend.
Oh, I always, if it's something that doesn't feel right for me, I mean, I would never ever like disclose it, but it's been so many opportunities that I had come to me that I just said absolutely no to, because it was just the acts and the deliverables and things like that was just far beyond what I felt like was what I felt like I was way more worth way more than. And so it had to be some no's that really hurt me. Like, I'm like, oh, man, I would have really loved to do that. Or I would love to be a part of that or whatever. But one thing I know for sure is that God don't play by me. And so even if I feel like I lost something in that moment, he always come back around with something better and show me like, you ain't miss nothing. That wasn't for you. It wasn't for you.
You ain't miss nothing.
No.
Like, you said no to that. You trusted me in this. How much more?
Exactly.
Listen, I love the scripture where it talks about if he dresses the lilies and he feeds the birds. I know I'm saying it wrong right now. This in Matthew. How much more will he deal with you? And then watch this, in that same chapter, it talks about let your yes be yes and your no be no. And God has to honor that. Like, he has to. It's in his DNA to honor when you give a straightforward yes and a straightforward no, and it's on his behalf, because obviously what you bringing the Lord up, it's healthy to assume that's, I mean, you ain't wearing that cross for no reason. That's who your lifeline is.
Absolutely.
With. Like
I talked about on the Way We Live podcast, when I was going through a dark season of my life, that's all it was, me and God. It was just us, you know, and it built my faith, and it made me understand. It gave me a different type of relationship with God. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes those moments for us to really understand, like, what all of this is for, and what all this is about, you know. And it's far bigger than us, you know. And I learned that, and so yes, that's one of the things that I hold near and dear to me, my relationship with God, because it's so personal, and I value it and I love it, because even now I reflect back on the times that things weren't so good. I'm like, thank you. I just randomly you know, because he's been so good to me.
So good.
Yeah. He's
a good father.
Absolutely.
He's a good friend. You learn him in different seasons. I was talking to Chantal Collette. She's a social media influencer as well. She's been here. And she told us, she was like, she asked the Lord, she said, show me how good it can get. And literally the Lord blew her mind. And I really feel like the Lord is doing that for you, like showing you how good it can get. Because coming from the north side of Birmingham, coming from rough spaces, from my understanding, remember your parents are divorced, and coming from things that were supposed to take you out, and for him to still keep you, tells me that not only are you chosen, but you're needed. Like, you're needed for such a time as this. Like, your DNA is a must in this land, like in this specific time. And so I want to say that I'm proud of you. Just go off rip. But before I even close us out, I can't close us out because my dog is an author now. Like, he been saying, he said, oh, I need to write a book. And you done wrote the book.
I wrote the book.
Yeah.
You done messed around and wrote this book. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. What are you most excited about with this announcement of the book?
I think the thing that I'm most excited about is, like we talked about earlier, transparency. And that when I made that video about transparency, that was already in the works. And so I knew that was going to be a thing that I was going to be able to release in my 34th year of life. And so I'm excited for people to really get a different perspective of me and really get to hear not my full story, but it's more of a memoir reflection type of thing or whatever. But it's so many different nuggets in there that I feel like people are going to walk away with and feel inspired and feel a sense of like hope.
Yeah.
And like, you know, no matter where you start, it doesn't matter where you start. And it also doesn't matter where you start, but it doesn't matter the things that happen in between that time either. Ultimately, everything is for a reason. And so, like we been talking about all day today, and like you quoted earlier, my life prepared me for this. And so people get to see how my life prepared me for this. And very easy read. It's very easy to keep up with, very entertaining, and just a great love letter to Birmingham.
Oh my goodness. your life, man, I felt the oil of God on that.
Yeah.
Your life is a love letter to Birmingham.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful and so unique, and I'm excited because the topics that we spoke on today, they're in the book, and I think I'm ready to just see the details, to see the level of transparency, because people need to know that you're bigger than just the content creator, that you're not just this one-dimensional type person that because people will try to box you in. Absolutely. Just because they don't have the capacity to be more. Right. And so I think you being an author is so exciting. It's so exciting. One of my goals is to go ahead and launch my book in my year 34 too. So I'm hoping to be right along with you. Desiree, you've been over there just listening, sis. What I would love to hear your thoughts.
I think the biggest thing that I got from this conversation and just kind of listening to your journey is that just be yourself. Like, be your authentic self. And I do believe, like, life happens, things happen, we go through situations and things like that, and sometimes we put on identities that God didn't necessarily intend for us to have. And so the beauty of being able to step into a space of therapy, and then or have like people around you that can hold a mirror up to your face to be like, hey, you're better than this, is that those moments begin to rip off those fake identities, and that you can truly then begin to walk in the authentic person that God had already designed you to be. Like, he had already created you to be like an influencer. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is just be you, because people gonna say what they gonna say anyway. Regardless. So I loved hearing about your story and your journey, and I'm really looking forward to diving a little bit deeper into your book.
Yes.
Come on, author.
Yeah, Desiree just became an author too for her birthday.
Congratulations.
So
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's
so
crazy.
yeah, I was like, Lord, you putting me around a whole bunch of authors. Like, ain't no way I'm supposed to be one. So
even when I say that word, I'm like, what?
Is it weird?
Yes.
It is weird, because it's like, what? I don't know. I feel like, I don't know everybody's dreams, but I feel like it's so many people's dreams to become an author, to tell their story, to be able to have something live out here in the world, even far beyond you being here physically, and so I'm like, I think just that it makes me so proud, because somebody asked me why now. I'm like, when?
That's so good.
When? Because my story is going to continue to unfold, and that gives me more things to be able to write about in the future. But this is not like a period. This is just a start. You know, I want to do other things. I want to, so. I think I would love to hear your story. I think yours would be beautiful, and everyone has a very unique story to tell. Because that same person's like, well, everybody got a story. I'm like, exactly. So everybody should write a book.
Exactly.
I love your comeback. His comebacks are classic. I'm like, let me call your hood real quick.
Right.
I need a comeback to this because I'm a little slow to it. Okay.
I'm like.
No, but I love this. So I've asked, so some of my favorite people from Birmingham, they have been here. Like, I love my city too, and I love the influence here. Floss, the Meg, Brittany, they've been here, and I've only asked influencers from Birmingham. This is a specific question because I want y'all to be able to come back and say, oh, I said this or whatever. So 5 years from now, where do you want to be? What do you want to speak to the 5 year from now? I guess 39-year-old LaDarrius. Where is he? Yeah, she old. We gonna
you look beautiful. You look amazing.
He's so sweet.
So I want TV for sure. I know what I want to do with TV, but I don't want to say but TV.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to have several established businesses in Birmingham. Definitely, of course, a restaurant. Gotta have that.
Got
to. More books. But overall, I just want to be able to have made such an impact in Birmingham where they gave me the key to the city.
Come on now.
And, has just really, I really just, and then, if they want to give me a little street name, that's fine too. L
Downtown. Let's be specific. We want some downtown.
L Hood Lane, you know. I'm fine with that too. But just continuing to elevate myself, my brand, and make it far beyond Birmingham and far beyond just social media, you know. And I am, you know, I'm it's piece by piece by piece by piece. I got a really good influencer friend. Shout out to Fumi Ford. Are you familiar with Fumi?
No, I'm not.
I love Fumi. She gave me some advice very early on in my influencer journey, and it sticks with me to this day. I don't even know if she remember or not, but she told me, you know, she was just telling me that she loved my brand and what I had going on. And mind you, this is a very well-established lady, influencer. But she was like, with what you have, just, you know, take your followers like this. They have to, because of what you built here in your hometown, in your city, you have to gradually let them grow with you. So don't go from Birmingham to New York.
Yeah.
Don't go from Birmingham to LA. Don't take them that fast.
Yeah.
Go from Birmingham to Atlanta to Tennessee to Florida to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let them grow with you or whatever.
That's
and
so
that's
good.
what I've been doing, and that's what I plan to do. So
Yeah. I love that advice. That's some
that
wisdom.
was great.
That's some good wisdom, because
Yeah.
sometimes we go too fast,
Go
and then
too
we end up
fast.
leaving people
Yes.
that was supposed to be connected with us because we wanted to go too
Exactly.
fast. That's good. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
What's her name? Flumi.
Fumi.
You
Yeah.
got to give me her
I will.
Instagram before you leave. Listen, I've enjoyed this conversation.
Yes.
I've really
too.
enjoyed you being here, and I just want to give you an open door to come back at any
Come
time.
in back anytime.
Yeah. I want to give
on.
you an open door to come back, because I know there's more, and I feel like this is just the beginning of
Absolutely.
JessAsk and L Hood.
Absolutely.
And even Jessica and LaDarrius.
Absolutely.
I love it. So traditionally on JessAsk the podcast, we allow our guests to have the final word. Like, we've talked about a lot. We've talked about your journey. But if you come here with anything on your heart, like you want to share anything, encouraging words, if they didn't hear anything else, what would you want them to leave with? And you can just talk to your camera over there.
I would just want to say, you know, be okay with where you are. Be okay with your journey. Allow yourself to embrace the journey while you're in it, because I really wish that I had the opportunity to really take in those moments, you know, growing up. But now that I'm able to reflect back, I'm like, I actually had it was a beautiful time, you know, even through those hard seasons. So give yourself grace and understand that everything happens exactly the way that it's supposed to, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and it's all God's timing. He already had all of this worked out and ordained for our life before we even got here. So give yourself grace and understand that your purpose is on the way.
I love that.
Yeah.
I just love how you speak. You just got good language. I love people with just good language. I don't know. It just does something to me. Y'all, I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. I've learned a lot more. It's just been good. It's always good to speak to the person that you see on social media. You might have a thought, but you get to dig deeper. And I love that this has been a safe space for so many influencers to tell their story, because we believe here that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of the testimony. And I believe that somebody has overcome themselves throughout this particular conversation, that they've been given permission to be themselves. And so I'm so grateful for LaDarrius. I'm so grateful for you, Desiree, and I'm so grateful for you. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, until next time, remember, life could be much more simple if you just ask.
What's up, you guys? We hope you've enjoyed that conversation, but make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification so you don't miss an episode. We'll see you next Thursday.